Happy Friday, everybody. Andy and Steve from WagerTalk.com. Welcome to the Road to Millions on this Friday, October 6th. You guys know I'm already going to ask you to hit the like button, so just go ahead and get it out of the way. Appreciate everybody joining us. We got a jam-packed show. We're always going to start with positive vibes from the audience. Someone made an incredible call on the game last night in the chat section or in the comment section yesterday. We got 6 NFL best bets. We got your fade of the day, sleeper of the day, stat of the day, and of course our official survivor picks. And yes, I will show the slide of the survivor pool. Several of you have asked, message delivered. Sorry about that. So, all right, Steve, let's get into it. Let's start with some positive vibes from the audience. But first, let's start some positive vibes for our cash last night. Kind of a no sweat, right?
Yeah, it was almost got there in the first half. We had Justin Fields over passing yards, and we kind of went back and forth between that and Moore's longest reception over. Moore gets that in the first series, and we were kind of a little worried. But the great part is that it was a 15-plus yard reception, so that really helped Fields get there. We only needed a little less than 200 yards out of him, and he like I said, he had 189 at halftime. We're sitting there right at the, you need a couple yards to pass it at halftime, and luckily the Commanders put up a little bit of resistance there and had him throwing a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, it's a really good one. So that's 2-0 already in NFL this week for Monday and Thursday. So that's great. All right, guys. Positive vibes. Let's start off on a good note. Let's get the juices flowing. RJ, AJR, thanks, guys. Appreciate all the work you guys at Wager Talks put in. Thank you so much. A little lucky, another gem. Fields only needs 6 more yards at halftime. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. I recently found you guys as pod. Now I'm a daily listener. Love the content. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Jeffrey Wilson. We will. Here was the one I was. WJ King. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. AJ Brown went nuts against the Commanders. No reason why Moore won't do the same. Yep, that's a win.
Yeah.
That is a great call. Hopefully you bet that because that was an easy cash. So great job, everyone. Tell us your wins in the comment section. Tell us what's going good for you. If the Road to Millions is helping out, something good that's going on. We too many times focus on the negativity. Let's start focusing on the good things. All right, let us get into 6 NFL best bets. We each pick 3, and we're going to go through these. I will start. Oops, sorry, Steve. This is not Andy's.
Oh, I thought you were going to do all 6 of them.
No, you got to do something. You got to do something.
I got to earn my
That's what happens when you copy and paste and forget to change it. All right, I'll start. Ryan Tannehill over 206.5 passing. Have you seen the Colts secondary? I'm stunned at this number. The Colts give up 287 yards a game passing. I know Tannehill's not airing it out. He might this game. He went under this total against the 2 best defenses he played. That's the Saints and the Browns. Great defenses. Easily went over against the Bengals and the Chargers. The lesser of the pass defense. And the Colts, not a good pass defense. So Derrick Henry, I would expect him to have success because he always has success against us. But we've kind of talked about how Henry's just not quite as explosive, not quite the same guy. And the game plan's there, man. Attack the Colts through the air. So I like Ryan Tannehill over 206. I think this number is way too low against that bad Colts secondary. So, Steve, you're looking at Bryce Young. What do you not like about him?
Well, he hasn't hit this number yet in his career. 0-3, and he's not even come close. 14, 22, and 22. I don't know if he has the arm, and I don't know if Adam Thielen's his best target to go over this, and he doesn't really have the weapons to go over this number. You could argue that the Lions are a great matchup on the turf, against a team they should be playing behind against, but he couldn't even get there last week when he was down against the poor pass defense of the Minnesota Vikings. And so the Lions, they've given up 2 out of 4 quarterbacks have went over this number. Mahomes just sneaks over with 34. Love had 44. But Young, 22 is his high, and we get it at 33.5. Give me his under here until he proves that he can go over.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, Adam Thielen's not stretching the defense on that
And,
on that
no one
tonight.
else is. It's going to take somebody to,
Right.
yards after the catch. That's what it's going to take for this to go over, I feel like.
I like Isaiah Pacheco this week over 57 and a half rushing yards. He's gone over in 3 straight games. The only time those other running backs are getting carries is if it's a blowout. I mean, Jerick McKinnon's getting a couple, Clyde Edwards-Helaire's getting a couple, but this is Isaiah Pacheco's backfield. When the game is close, he's the one getting the carries. And he's gone over 3 straight games. The Chiefs quietly are the 9th best rushing offense in the league. This is not the Mahomes airing it out to Tyreek Hill. This is like where they get into big time shootouts. This is a good Chiefs defense. This is run the ball. Mahomes uses his legs. He's like the third highest rushing quarterback. This is a team that's not airing it out. This is a team that's running the ball, and I love Pacheco here. The Panthers rushed for 83 yards against the Vikings last week, so there's a world where the game script is that the Chiefs can, get out ahead of the Vikings, especially if you got Kirk Cousins in a weird game where he turns the ball over or something. I mean, they're 1-3. The only team they've beaten is the Panthers. So there's a world that the Chiefs get out ahead and they use Pacheco. So if Chiefs do get out ahead, man, I love Pacheco to get over this. I could see him getting 20 carries. So I'll take Pacheco in that underrated Chiefs rushing offense to go over. You like another over? You like an over as well? This is a quarterback. Talk to us about Daniel Jones.
Yeah, so he's went over this total for 37.5 rushing yards in 3 of 4 games, and he's averaged 43 yards a game. The Dolphins are allowing the eighth most rushing yards so far this season, and it just feels like Jones is the Giants' only hope. I don't Barkley. I don't see him playing again this week, and Jones is gonna. They're gonna need his legs in this game. This is a game where they're gonna be playing from behind against Miami for sure, and I mean I just look at him and he needs to pretty much put up the production for this Giants team. You know what I mean? There aren't a lot of other options right now, and he's consistently went over this total. So I'm expecting him to do it again this week.
I'm going to stay in that same game, and I'm going to take the Dolphins. Achane. There's this is one of my favorite things is like how to pronounce his name. There's like multiple clips of him telling people how to pronounce it, but it's different in the different clips. So it's like he's messing with us. I'm going to take him over 49 and a half rushing. Steve, his last 2 games, he has 26 carries for 204 yards. And the Giants give up the 8th most rushing yards per game. If the game script ends up like you say it is, where the Dolphins are ahead, I would expect big games from him and Mostert. So 49 and a half. It's almost one of those where I'm like, what am I missing here? Why isn't this over 60? Like, he's really explosive. The Giants could easily get way behind on this one, but I'll roll the dice. I think it's worth looking at, and I think it's exploring. And I mean, the explosion that he has, God, that guy is fast. So if he breaks one long one, he's easily going to go over this one. Did not expect to talk about KJ Osborne, but here we are. Let's talk is under here. You sent the message to me at 34 and a half, and you're not the only one that noticed because it already dropped the point. So what do you like about this one?
Yeah, I still like it there. He's went under in 3 or 4 games, and he's been close 31, 34, 36, 16. But what's interesting here is his targets have went down now the past 2 weeks. After being targeted 6 times in each of the first 2 weeks of the year, 2 last week and 3 the week prior. So we've seen his targets decrease. He's the fourth option. It's a great passing attack, but he's the fourth option, behind Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson. These guys demand a lot of balls, and Osborne just isn't getting the targets. And you talked about that Chiefs defense. You've been talking about it since the beginning of the year, and you've been spot on. But their pass defense has been great too. They've only allowed 190 yards a game. That's eighth best in the NFL. And if he squeaks one out, maybe he could go over, but that's the only way I see it. And his target's going down. You got to like the under again this week.
Yeah, so quick recap. Left Tannehill over 206 and a half passing. Bryce Young under 38. Bryce Young under 33 and a half for his longest completion. Isaiah Pacheco over 57 and a half rushing. Daniel Jones over 37 and a half rushing. Devon Achane, over 49 and a half rushing. I need to come up with a nickname for that guy. That just the running dolphin or whatever.
DA.
Yeah, DA. And then KJ Osborne under 33 and a half receiving. So those are 6 NFL best bets. Real quick before we move on, Steve, you want to go over avoiding? So we cashed on Justin Fields over his passing. I didn't see anybody really on that play, and that's a great spot to be, at least in my opinion. I like being on the play that nobody else on. I kind of get terrified when everyone's on the same play. And you want to talk about what you said, like we got to avoid these primetime games where everyone's on the same play. They just never seem to hit. Like Brian Robinson was the obvious, like, got to take him over his rushing, and he doesn't even get close.
Yeah, it just seems like in these primetime games like that one player that everyone's gravitating towards, you got to run the other way when you see that. Like you said, Robinson last night, everyone's on his rushing over, and he doesn't get there. The primetime game prior to that, we saw Metcalf. Everyone's on his receiving total over. He doesn't get there. It's the book's dream to have everybody on the same side of these big name players, and that's why when you see our props, generally, it's more obscure props. You know what I mean? We're looking kind of for those numbers that not everyone's playing that are kind of hidden gems, and that's what's really worked out for us.
Yeah, you're right. And I thought about it. I thought about going Brian Robinson. I literally was like, it's like, no, it's too obvious. It's a primetime game. You can't go to Brian Robinson. So
sometimes the obvious ones do cash, though. You know, we have had those plays
sure.
where, like a couple weeks ago, Cousins, I was on his over and we didn't. You know, that was one that came through. But yeah, generally when you see, man, if everyone's on it, especially if the Twitter curse, if everyone's on it on Twitter and you see everyone on it, you got to run the other direction. And I feel like it's better to be on the hidden gem plays, the plays that not a lot of people are using.
If the Twitter curse is right now, it's Miles Sanders under his rushing. I thought I had this like unbelievably awesome play, and I gave it out on WagerTalk today, and ever since then, that's all I've seen is Miles Sanders under. So I would nominate Miles Sanders under rushing.
I've seen a lot of that too.
As the Twitter curse play. So I don't know. Maybe late he just breaks one garbagey, just horrible 18-yard run to go over. So I could see it. So, alrighty. What do we have up? We have our UFC best bet. We have our NCAA team total. But, guys, you got to get the NFL 5% best bet. 4-0 to start the season. Looking to keep the sweep going. 5-0 for this week. And then 25-9. 25-9 run the last 2 seasons in NFL.
It's
5%
amazing,
best bets. Yeah, we're having a fantastic NFL season so far. We hit Monday night. We hit the one last night, so we're already in the profit for that. But the NFL 5% best bets is where it's at. If you're looking for one individual pick, that's the way to go. If you want a 7-day pass, you can use the promo code LANG7, 7 days. It gets you everything for this weekend, which include all of our NFL plays, the UFC play. There's a Bellator play in there. There's a Formula One race this weekend, and it'll get you. It's a sneaky time to use it because it'll get you Monday night and then next Thursday night if you use it today. So it's actually a really good day to use the 7-day pass. I said Monday was a great day, and today's the other really, really good day. So I mean, the 5% play is $35. Just for an additional, what is that, 45? You get 7 days worth of all of our plays. Completely worth it. So promo code LANG7 get you there. All right, let's move on. Fade of the day. I'm going with Randall Cobb. I tried to Google a picture of him catching a ball for the Jets. I literally couldn't find one. That's how kind of obscure he is. That's how obscure he is. I got this. What is that Atlantic Health sticker on his practice jersey? That's the best I can do. I'm not even 100% sure that's him. I'm 99% sure that's him. Give me under 12.5 yards. He's played in 4 games. He has 3 catches for 20 yards. Obviously, he was brought there because he's Aaron Rodgers' friend, and guess what? Aaron Rodgers is not throwing the ball. Last week, Steve, 2 catches for 8 yards. Wow, that's really stretching the defense. And he has 2 games with 0 catches this season. So, listen, when you sign Aaron Rodgers, you get Aaron Rodgers' friends, and then you have Aaron Rodgers' friends running routes for you. So I'm just going to fade Randall Cobb here. If he gets 1 catch for 14 yards and beats me, whatever. But I'm certainly not taking the over on Randall Cobb, so I'll take the under on him. All right, sleeper of the day, James Conner. That's not the right.
Spelling.
What's that?
It's
Did
not the
I
right spelling.
did I mess
ER.
up everything? So what's his receiving total? Is it 13?
13 and a half.
13 and that. So I misspelled his name and I put the wrong. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh my
Got it
God.
now.
What a morning. All right. Sleeper of the day, James Conner. And we're looking at under 13 and a half receiving. Why are we fading James Conner in the receiving game?
So he's went under this total in 3 or 4 games so far this season. His targets have went down significantly. He had 5 targets in week 1, and he's had 5 targets combined in the 3 weeks since then. DeMercado has taken over as the receiving back for the Cardinals. And when you look at it, he's been on the field a lot more. Connor's been on the field a lot less in negative game scripts where they're gonna throw more, and the Bengals favored by 3. We could see some negative game scripts in this one. You also look at it; the Cardinals rank 29th in targets. They don't throw to the running back position very much to begin with. They rank 29th in running back targets on the year, and I'm just looking at it and him going under again this week in a spot where he's not going to be thrown to very much against a team that actually has only allowed 89 yards to running backs through the air, and that ranks 8th in the NFL. So give me his under this week.
Love it. James Conner, under receiving. That's your sleeper play of the day. Stat of the day. Steve, the Jets and the Vikings, they have still not scored a point in the first quarter. And somehow we lost a play on the first quarter under on the Jets. We lost a play because they gave up 17 to the Chiefs. Yet the Jets and the Vikings still have not scored in the first quarter. Through 4 games, it kind of sounds impossible, especially for the Vikings.
I was just going to say it makes some sense for the Jets, but
Come
for
on,
the
Minnesota.
For the Vikings, that offense just can't get off the ground. It just seems like it should be so much better than it is. They have so many weapons, but to score, they finally got their first win last week, and they only scored 23 against Carolina. It was an ugly game,
Yep.
But to not score in the first quarter, they just can't get off the ground early.
So weird. So that's your stat of the game. Slow starts for the Jets and the Vikings. All right, Survivor picks. First, real quick, let's show the Google sheet here. So we've already got a couple of picks in. You're going to see a lot of the same teams. Shout out to Danny Daniels going with the Jets this week.
Wow.
Look, I mean, the who's who. He's gone with Dolphins, 49ers, Chiefs, and now the Jets. So
Wow.
pretty impressive. So get your picks in. We'll update the sheet, of course, and have everyone's picks in for Sunday. So taking some of the users out, but make sure you put them in the comment section if you're still in the contest. I feel like these are the 2 obvious plays. I'm going with the Lions. I'm just fading this Carolina team who's terrible. The Lions are going to shut down the running game. I have no doubts, and I don't see where Carolina scores the points. And it's a Lions team that has a big rest advantage. It's the other thing. They played on the Thursday night game, so they are rested. I would expect a big workload again from David Montgomery. They're rolling. Carolina's struggling big time, so only need the money line win. I'll take the Lions. Steve, I'm going to go on a limb and say you're not buying this Giants team in the rebound spot?
No, not at all. Biggest spread available on the board hasn't failed me yet, and I'll stick with it this week. Dolphins favored by about 12.5. Last time I looked, by game time, it'll probably be about 14. Giants are just a total mess playing on the road, and I just don't see how they can get the job done here against the Dolphins. I know taking the biggest spread available every week is going to eventually catch up to me, and maybe we'll pivot starting next week, but for now, we'll stick with that theory.
So, would you worry about the backdoor cover? Would you? I almost think minus 12.5 is a better first half spread than a full game. I would take the Dolphins minus 12.5 in the first half. The Giants have been so inept and so bad, and the Dolphins are one of the highest scoring teams in the first quarter. I could absolutely see them being up 14 in the first half. The Giants' first half totals are just laughable, man. They are so bad.
Yeah, and if we see some sort of big play like a a Tyreek bomb, a long pat, or like a Danny Dimes pick six. You know what I mean? Where it could get out of control quick, and I think they probably cover the first half and the full game as well, if I had to guess.
Here, I'm going to look up real quick. First half scoring NFL. They have to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the first half. So, yeah, Miami averages 21 and a half. The Giants 2.3.
Is that dead last?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's dead
yeah.
last. You
What
got
are the Dolphins?
Atlanta 4.8, Cincinnati 4.8. And then, yeah, you got Miami 21 and a half. What's interesting, Dallas is second at 28.5, but that's some turnovers. That's defense.
Yeah, that's been. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And then
know that.
Buffalo's 20.3, and then San Fran and Kansas City rounds out your time. See what I mean? Like minus 12 and a half. I think it's a better first half spread than it is a full game. Miami,
Yeah.
21 and a half average.
You gotta love the
Not even averaging a field goal.
highest scoring team against the worst scoring team in the first half. You're gonna like that spot.
Absolutely. So, uh, it's so bad. So the only good thing. Oh, and did you see this about the Giants? One of the rookies ripped the fans. That's always a good move. He
Especially in New York.
Exactly. He said something about the fans. All they do is flip burgers, and they don't know what it's like.
Those
Oh, that
losers.
always works. That always works. Especially, the New York media. I'm sure they'll gloss over that one. So yeah, it's just the Giants. That I was going to say that's the only good thing about the Giants and how bad they've looked is New York fans, because it's great. It's great when a New York team is just absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it too.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for us. Go get that NFL 5% best bet, or just use the promo code Lang7. Seriously, honestly, you just use the promo code. We're running really, really good. 7 days of plays. You're going to get a couple of MMA plays. You're going to get Formula One, and you're going to get all of our Sunday NFL, Monday, and next Thursday. So it's a sneaky good day to use that promo code. Lang7 gets a 7-day pass for $79. And don't forget about the NCAA team total. 4-1. We suffered our first loss of the season. I guess we'll allow a loss every once in a while. But
Bounce back time.
Bounce back time, big time. So that's going to do it for us, guys. We will be back Sunday morning to cover your same game parlays, your anytime touchdown totals, the final lines on all the props. We'll do some alt line parlays as well with Corbin. So great Sunday morning show. And don't forget to join us for Takedown Live. It's an afternoon UFC card. We start about 3 o'clock, I believe, is the first fight. So for Saturday, I love the Saturday afternoon cards during college football season because we're there giving out, predictions and in-fight wagers, but you're following all the college football. So it's on the YouTube channel, Takedown Live. So if you're just sitting around chilling, you can hang out with myself and Jim, watch some UFC fights, and follow all the sports. So let's have a great Friday, everybody. Good luck on all your bets, and we will see everyone Sunday on the Road to Millions.
See you Sunday.